Last week, I released a video about all the things I regretted and disliked about my long-term island Kokomo. If you haven't watched it yet, you don't have to do so before watching this video, but it might help a little bit with the context. The response on that video was so different from what I thought it would be. I received feedback not only on here, but also on Discord, Twitter, and on stream, and it was so helpful, so thank you so much. Throughout writing the script and editing last week's video, I had started to process a little bit about why I was regretting things so much and what I was going to do next. And your comments really helped confirm what I was starting to think about Kokomo, and they have also helped a heck of a lot with what's happened since. I hope with sharing this that it helps you too if you're a little stuck about whether to delete an island, or you're wanting to play the game but you're unsure what to do. In that video, everything I was disliking about Kokomo came under three main regrets. The first two, the island name and the tiny peninsula, were more cosmetic than anything, but they were bugging me more than I wanted to admit. But the third regret, regretting starting the island in the first place, hit me more than I realised at the time. I had started Kokomo in the middle of winter here, which is in the middle of the year, and it was after flattening my previous island BESTIE and then getting a little overwhelmed on BESTIE by how much I had to do that it stopped me getting inspired. Looking back at 2021 and early Kokomo days, I remember being really happy and loving playing Animal Crossing in the second half of that year on the new island. But while making that video about my regrets, I trawled back through all my old photos and videos of Kokomo and also the previous island BESTIE. And seeing those videos and photos all at once made me realise something. It wasn't actually Kokomo that I was attached to or feeling nostalgia for, even though I did mostly have fun with Kokomo. It was actually the previous island BESTIE that I was missing and had that fond memory of. And those blissful moments of returning to Animal Crossing New Horizons that I remember from 2021 were actually about a completely different island and not the one I still had now. In the comments on this video, there were several stories from people who had recently deleted their long-term islands and were so happy with their new island. At first, I slightly, not brushed things off, but discounted them in my head a little bit, because I thought that though it might be nice to restart, I am doing that regularly on my other Switch for my intentionally short-term themed islands, and I don't think I needed to do it, but I wasn't sure. It was an interesting time in my head. But as the comments kept coming in confirming the same, I thought more and more about how little I had actually played on Kokomo in the last 18 months, and I started feeling like it might be time to move on. I still wanted a long-term island. There are so many ways to play Animal Crossing New Horizons, and as long as you're having fun with your game, no way to play is correct. But I like having an island that I switch up regularly, and one for longer term, lower intensity gameplay, and less pressure to stay on theme with builds and designing. I managed to wait about a day before deciding either way what I was going to do, which is pretty good for me. We all know Risky Kim comes out sometimes and makes some decisions without completely thinking. But the more and more I actually thought about things and processed the comments and everything in my head, the more I was really excited for what a new island could hold. So, in the weekend, I gave away everything on Kokomo, well, as much as I could, and on Monday morning, I started again on stream with a new island. And as soon as I made that decision and deleted the island, things fell into place so quickly. I had a few things I wanted for that new island. There was a particular comment on my regrets video that stuck with me. It was from the Tugboat Girl, and she said that when she recently started a new island, she put the time back on her Switch a couple of years and is slowly moving forward with time travel as things progress until she reaches present day. One of my mods, Arazadi, is doing the same thing with their new island that she recently started, starting on the release day of Animal Crossing New Horizons back in 2020. I loved this idea because it gives me some nostalgia for those early days, so I've started this new island back on the 20th of March 2020, the International Day of Happiness. I've made a rule for the moment that I can time travel, but only one day at a time, so I can experience each day in each season as I go, eventually ending up in 2023 at present day. It's going well so far, but we all know that's probably going to change when it gets to the winter season. Maybe not, maybe I won't, but we'll see. When it came to the map layout for the new island, the decision was easy. I wanted that heart pond map that I had for BESTIE back in 2021, with a large peninsula and the resident services and airport closely aligned, but with a fair amount of distance between them. And this must have been meant to be, because I got that exact layout on reroll number 11. 11! I was so happy! And not only did it have the layout I wanted, but it also has a blue airport and cherries for my native fruit, both of which were on my wish list, but things I could have lived without if I found the perfect layout first. The starter villages were Plucky and Mac. Mac is fine, but Plucky is not exactly in my top 20. I don't even think she's in my top 300 villages. But that's okay, because I've decided that this new island, which I have called Camembert, I know I've reused that name, but I love it. It's going to be somewhat of a completionist island. I'm going to attempt to try to finally actually finish the museum for the first time. I'm hoping to get all of the Nookmore rewards, breed all of the flower types, and hopefully get all of the villagers' photos. So even though I'm not the hugest fan of Plucky, once I have her photo, she can leave and she won't have to be on Camembert again. Over the last few days, I've been progressing Camembert both on and off stream, and things are honestly going so well. My first smug campsite visitor was Eugene, who is one of my absolute favourite villagers, and yesterday's villager hunt on stream to find the last 4 villagers went really well too. Camembert is now full, we have 10 villagers, and we hit 3 stars this morning. I am having so much fun, and I'm not sure what it is about this island, but it's feeling different than starting the short-term islands that I have on my other Switch. I don't know, it's making me really happy, and I love that. As the plan for Camembert is to make it a long-term island, I don't intend to have a theme. I have plans for a few fun builds and a couple of fun yellow paths and things I want to use just to keep in the cheesy theme. But to make this island work long term, I know I can't restrict myself to one theme like I do with my short-term islands. The final goal for Camembert is to make it a social island. I did this with the first Camembert when it started at the start of the year, and it was so much fun that I can't wait to host like parties, tournaments, and other fun things like just coming over for coffee at the Roost. I might be only a few days into this new long-term island, but I'm so glad I made this decision. Your comments honestly helped me so much, and I hope what I've said in this video helps you make this decision either way if you're feeling the same at some point. And if any part of me was questioning whether I'd regret this or whether 2021 me would be disappointed that I just deleted Kokomo, this morning I found a couple of tweets from November and December in 2021 that I'd completely forgotten about. According to these tweets, 3 months into Kokomo, I was regularly visiting BT's dream address just to sit in the kitchen and think about how much I was regretting deleting the previous island. So I think 2021 me would support this decision to delete Kokomo 100%. Thank you so much for watching. Do like this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. And do join the Discord server if you want to come visit Camembert at some point, as I'll be opening the gates regularly for visitors. Stay fresh, cheese bags. Bye!